Welcome to this explainer, tailored specifically for you, San Diego homeowners. Today, we're cutting straight to the chase. We're going to break down the exact 2026 handyman rates and maintenance strategies you need to know if you own property out in Lakeside. We're keeping this incredibly practical, super clear, and absolutely no fluff. Because look, if you own a home in this unique pocket of East County, you already know, keeping things maintained out here, it comes with its own special rulebook. Here's our agenda for today, so we can get right to it. We're looking at Lakeside's unique home mix, the East County heat effect, the top 5 local repairs, 2026 rates, how to bundle your rural property, and finally, smart booking. Let's get into it. Section 1, Lakeside's unique home mix. We've got 3 types of properties really shaping the local repair landscape right now. You see, Lakeside isn't just some cookie-cutter neighborhood. Your property probably falls into one of 3 distinct buckets. First up, we've got the older, traditional single-family homes. If you're living in one of these, you know the drill. You're likely dealing with aging plaster, little drywall cracks, and original door hardware that just doesn't want to latch anymore. Then you've got the rebuild-era homes. These are the ones sitting right in the footprints of the 2003 Cedar Fire and the 2007 Witch Fire. Sure, they were built with newer materials, but they're hitting that critical age where they need second-generation refreshes. Think swapping out old fixtures or renewing weather stripping. And finally, Lakeside has a really strong mix of manufactured housing, which brings its own steady rhythm of interior repair and fixture replacements. Moving right along to Section 2, the East County heat effect. This is the hidden climate culprit behind your home's wear and tear.
Now, Lakeside sits well inland, which means it takes the absolute, full, brutal swing of East County weather. Summer afternoons out there regularly push right past 100 degrees, and that intense baking heat, it is literally cooking your house. It causes exterior caulk to dry out and fail way faster here than it ever would if you live closer to the coast in San Diego.
Which brings us to a highly frustrating question I bet you've asked yourself at least once. Why do your doors suddenly start sticking every single summer? It's like clockwork, right? The temperature spikes, and out of nowhere, you're literally throwing your shoulder into the front door just to get the deadbolt to click. Well, the actual culprit behind this is something called seasonal binding. It happens because that extreme inland heat causes wood doors and their frames to physically expand and contract. They swell up so much between seasons that they literally bind right against the door jamb. Throw in that rapidly failing exterior caulk we just talked about, which lets moisture fluctuate, and boom, you've got a door that simply refuses to close right. It's a real headache. Section 3, Top 5 Lakeside Repairs. These are the most common jobs booked by your neighbors. So based on that heat and the unique housing mix, here are the top 5 repairs Lakeside homeowners are booking right now. Coming in at number 1, and this will absolutely not surprise you, sticking doors and weather stripping repair. Local pros are constantly having to shave down door edges and put in heat-rated weather stripping just to fight off that seasonal binding. Number 2, exterior caulk renewal. Got to keep the water out once the sun bakes those sealants away. Number 3 is fixture updates, which is huge for those post-fire rebuilds. Number 4, drywall and plaster patching, super common for both the older homes and the manufactured units. And rounding out the list at number 5, outbuilding and fence repair. This is a massive one for those semi-rural lots you see all over the area. Okay, Section 4, Handyman Rates for 2026. Let's look at the hard numbers for planning your home repair budget. So, what is this actually going to cost you right now in 2026? Well, in the local market, you're generally going to see 3 distinct pricing tiers. For those small, one-off tasks, you're looking at an hourly rate somewhere between $90 and $130 an hour. Keep in mind, there's almost always a 1-hour minimum or a baseline service fee there. But if you've got a list, say 4 to 6 little items, a standard flat rate visit usually runs you between $400 and $800. And then there's a third tier, one that coastal cities almost never see, the full property bundle. If you're maintaining a main residence plus detached garages, workshops, maybe an equipment shed, those visits run closer to $850 to $1,800, quoted as one big, comprehensive job. Now, when you stack up hourly visits against flat rate bundles, the data is super clear. Bundling is consistently the smarter financial play here. Think about it. With hourly rates, you're basically just watching the clock. And the final cost? Totally variable. Sure, that's fine if you really only have one tiny isolated fix. But with a flat rate bundle, you get one written quote up front. Boom. Cost certainty across all your structures. It is just a vastly better deal when you're trying to knock out a honey-do list of 4, 6, or even 10 different items all at once.
Moving on to Section 5, Bundling Your Rural Property. how to optimize visits for larger acreage and equestrian properties.
This bundling strategy, it is an absolute game changer, especially if you have an equestrian setup. Lakeside has this amazing horse culture character, right? But working horse properties require a really integrated maintenance approach. And the reason why is simple. The sun-baked fences, the barns, the paddock rails, and your main residence, they are all aging on the exact same clock. The extreme heat doesn't just mysteriously skip the barn while it's beating down on the house. They both need caulking, they both need wood repair, and they both need hardware adjustments at the exact same time.
Because they're aging together, you've got to repair them together. You can really maximize your budget by following these 3 simple steps. Step 1. Walk through the main house and put together an interior punch list. Drywall patches, sticking doors, that kind of thing. Step 2. Walk outside and add all your exterior wood, door hardware, and fence rail repairs for your detached buildings to that same list. Finally, Step 3. Book a single, full property mobilization visit. Bundling everything into one massive trip with one written quote is just so much more efficient and cheaper per item than calling a guy out for 5 separate visits throughout the year.
Section 6, Smart Booking for 2026. Here's exactly how to hire the right professional efficiently and, importantly, legally.
All right, as you start getting quotes for these bundles, I need you to keep one specific number burned into your brain: 500. This is incredibly important. In the state of California, $500 is the legal threshold where your combined labor and materials require a licensed general contractor rather than an unlicensed handyman. For small, defined repairs, a handyman is going to be faster and way cheaper. But if the total cost of your project crosses that $500 line, you absolutely must verify their contractor's license with the state board before a single hammer swings. No exceptions.
But hey, here's some fantastic news, especially for those of you on the more rural properties out toward Wildcat Canyon or tucked deep in El Monte Valley. Local pros out here often will not add a mileage surcharge. Even though it takes a little longer to get to your address, your quote is based purely on the work itself, not the miles driven. That is a massive, massive advantage when you're booking local San Diego County services.
So, when you are actually ready to pull the trigger and book, getting a same-week visit is remarkably straightforward if you follow these steps. Step 1. Describe the work in detail. Don't just call and say, "Hey, my door's broken." Tell them, "My front wood door binds against the frame when it gets hot." Step 2. Note the exact location on the property. This is crucial if it's an outbuilding on a multi-acre lot. And Step 3, provide clear photos from your phone. Giving this info up front lets the pros send the right tech with the right tools the very first time. Plus, they can almost always give you a fast, preliminary price right over the phone.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to step outside and just take a look around your property today. Look closely at that failing caulk, the binding doors, those sun-baked fence rails, and ask yourself, what is the true, hidden cost of letting that deferred maintenance compound over time? Because let me tell you, a little heat-rated weather stripping or exterior sealant today is vastly cheaper than having to replace rotted framing or entirely new doors tomorrow. Tackle that list, bundle those repairs, and protect your lakeside investment. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.